Hey, Tanya, the doctor is in.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How you doing, Ricky?
I am good. It's been a crazy day. We had wicked storms last night, I think, on the East Coast,
Yeah,
and all kinds of things happened. We had a tornado watch, but you know what? Storms happen every day
they
somewhere,
do. They
and
do.
we have to overcome them like that. We overcome all the storms in our life, right? I mean, I'm
That's
sure
right.
there's something relatable to what we're going to talk about tonight, right?
It's
So I'm so happy that
metaphorical, right?
it really is. I think Mo is actually stuck in a storm. She has no
Mm.
power. Her generator's running out of juice, and she's in Pennsylvania. So I think stuff is just crazy, right?
It,
So
it
anyway,
is.
so who are you? You've been on our show before, but tell people who you are. Introduce yourself, and you look so beautiful. You look so elegant. I feel like
Thank you.
I have on my like blessed you t-shirt. I'm
You
actually in
look great. Oh, I love it. I
um, but
love it.
but I barely got dressed today. So I'm happy I have clothes on. But I'm so glad you look beautiful.
You look great as always. So, my name is Tonya Rutherford, also known as Nia Ford, and I am a legacy and relationship strategist. I am a former Fortune 50 executive and a lawyer. And now, what I'm doing is counseling, coaching, consulting people on building relationships. Some people call it networking, but that's very transactional. And so we build community, right? And legacy. And what are the legacies that we're living, not just leaving behind? And so that's what we talked about last time. And then we
I
got
know.
into some healing pieces, and we were like, oh, we
Yeah.
need to talk about this some more.
We need to talk about this some more. And the word legacy is such a big word.
It is.
Let's break that down. And my mom just died. See my earrings.
Yes, Sashay.
She was 93 and
It's
she
amazing.
left a huge legacy. And now I feel like it's so funny now because I'm the oldest because I'm now the matriarch of the family, which I didn't even really, I started thinking about that right after she died. Like, gosh, she had really narrow feet, but I got to fit these shoes. I mean, she left some really big shoes to fill. And now all the baby cousins, everybody's calling me about stuff. Like, literally, it's July 3rd she passed.
Yeah.
Barely been a month, but I'm like, people are calling me. These
Mhm.
children that I like that are my cousins who are adults are saying, well, what should I do about this? And what should I do about Uncle Frankie? And what should I do about and I'm like, okay, mommy, like, how did I get this job? And
Mhm.
look at the legacy that you left of all these amazing people in our family doing amazing things, but are still wanting advice, wanting counsel, wanting love, wanting support.
Mhm.
How did you do that? And now, how am I going to do that?
Right. Well, she modeled it for you, and I'm so sorry for your loss. And what a beautiful life. What a
She had
beautiful
a beautiful life. She did so many things, and we had 300 people came to her funeral, her service. So that's just a tribute to her. And it's funny, my kid said all the exes were there, the ex-boyfriends, the ex-husbands. My sister and I said, that has nothing to do with us. That has to do with my mother, right?
life.
That
Right.
they
She had
all,
an
everyone,
impact.
she made an impact on so many people. And it was, just great. It's great
That's
to see the love. So,
absolutely. And I think that that's what legacy is. It's what is the impact that we are having? And
yeah,
it doesn't have to be something that we just leave behind. It's also how we're showing up every day. How are we showing up is what I call our personal legacy. How do people experience us? And it sounds like your mother was just a wonderful human being and that people experienced joy with her.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, and so that's part of it. It's like
yeah.
how do we make people feel?
Yeah, I guess I never thought about it that way, but we're actually creating legacy every day
Yeah.
in how we're making people feel every day, right?
Right. That's exactly right. And part of what you were talking about is also this inherited legacy.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this the last time I was on. We talked about four dimensions of legacy, and we've already talked about the personal legacy, which is how we show up. And then there's the inherited legacy, which is what our elders and ancestors pass on to us. And your mother modeled showing up for people, showing up in excellence and elegance. I saw the picture. She was a very elegant woman.
She was,
Yeah.
she was. I mean, yeah, I mean, her last words were, "Don't mess up my hair, damn it."
I
They were
love
trying to,
it.
they were trying to put a compress on her head, and make her cool off. Don't mess up my hair. Those were her
Mhm.
last words. She had her nails done. She had her hair done when she went to hospice, and she went out being a diva, man, the diva that she was. So
That's right. That's
it is
right.
so funny, right?
That's her personal. That's her
Yeah,
personal
yeah,
path, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we all have to find this path of, I love the way you talk about showing up. And, today I've been talking to this very, very sick patient, really probably since Friday. She's just going downhill,
Mhm.
and talking to her and her family and her friends, and I've been trying to show up for them. And it's so hard because I know how sick she is, and she's not ready to stop fighting. And I remember even sort of going through that with my mom and with so many other people, because you always say, fight like a girl, fight like a girl, fight like a girl. And then you say, well, somebody tells you, no, you can't fight anymore because there's no more drugs for you. Or you say, I don't want to. So I try to show up for them in whatever way it takes to give them whatever they need, whether it's information about medications, whether it's let me talk to the doctor, whether it's let me just give you a hug, let me talk to your husband or like your friends. And that's what we do in advocacy every day. And sometimes it's just really hard because we don't have the right answer,
Right.
or we don't. But I think that just showing up on in itself is a thing, right? That I have to just sort of say, okay, I did the best I could in that moment.
Yeah,
For those 10 minutes I was talking to this person, I gave her whatever I had,
that's right.
but I don't know what it was enough or not, but I mean, that's what I had to give. And
Yeah.
so I was worried about, is that enough? I wish I could fix it. I wish I could make cancer go away. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? I wish I could make this imminent thing that's going to happen to her go away,
Yeah.
but I can't.
That's right. That's right. And you said it so perfectly. You did two things. You physically showed up, right?
Yeah.
Which is important. And then the way and the manner in which you showed up, which is I'm going to give what I have to give. And that's all we can ever give.
Yeah.
Right? And so when we look back and we think about something that happened in our lives and we kind of Monday morning quarterback it,
Yeah. Try to look back.
we can't do that, right?
No,
Because we made the best decisions that we could make given those circumstances
in
and
that
who
moment.
we were
Right.
and what we were in that
In
moment.
that moment. Yeah. I
That's all
think
we
you're
can
right.
do.
And that's why our advocacy work is so, I think, so difficult in a lot of ways. It's easy, but it's difficult because it's easy because I think it comes from our hearts, but there's no handbook. There's
Right.
no, you just sort of wing it and help people however you can.
And do the best that you can.
Yeah. And I think though also even talk about legacy, we talk to so many patients who are sick,
Mhm.
and they talk a lot about, well, what I want to leave my kids with. What do I want to leave, you know,
Mhm.
if I am going out of here, and we're all going out of here at some point, right?
Absolutely.
But what do
Absolutely.
I want my kids to remember? How do
Mhm.
I memorialize that?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
even this particular patient today, I said, you're not having any pain right now. Get on a plane. Take your 16-year-old to Paris. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I
Right.
don't know what's going to happen, but if you're not in pain, you're not, really hurting. Let's go.
Right. Create the
Go,
memory.
go make a memory. That's
Go
what I
make
told her
the
to
memory.
go make a memory. Go make a memory. Whether however long it lasts, you're going to go make a memory. You got whatever time you got, you
You know?
know,
And isn't that what life is? It's
it's making
a
memories.
succession of memories.
It's making memories. It's making. That's why I always said, mom. Actually, I have this T-shirt, MOM, mom, maker of memories, maker of miracles, maker. But it's about maker of memories. That's what my mom's job is,
Hmm.
right?
That's absolutely right. Yeah. I think that that it's our own little movie, right? It's like, just a memory after a memory
Yeah.
and hopefully, they are good ones. But as we talk about inherited legacies. I think we touched on this a little bit before, and I think we can dig a little bit deeper on it. Is, some of our inherited legacies we also have to lay down, right? There's,
Yeah,
not all of our memories are the perfect memories.
right.
We try to create as many as we possibly can, and the legacies that we inherit,
Yeah,
some of them are not ones that we want to carry forward, right? That we want to lay them down. And so I think that there are important tools for healing as it relates to that as well.
yeah. Interesting. I was sort of thinking about today too, talking about healing. I think that we're in a place with cancer where our bodies go through waves. I mean, you sort of heal, but you can get it back, or you're going to get it back. I mean, I think that there's sort of this physical healing or not, but the emotional healing is totally separate,
It is.
right? Because even though your body is failing, you still could be healing emotionally,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
Is that possible? Is that possible? I mean, is that, like you're sort of finding peace with your memories or finding peace with sort of where you are, even though your body may not be where you want it to be. I think you can still heal emotionally. And maybe that's what gives you the peace to move on.
I think that's right because we are all becoming, right? We're
Yeah,
not yet there. And so as we are becoming, I think we have to heal, in the process, and just
yeah,
this is all a journey. And so as a part of this journey, um, you know, we accept some of it. We have to accept, I guess, all of it, right? We accept it, and we make the best of it, and I think
yeah,
that it's so important for us as a part of the healing is to name the emotion that we are feeling. And I think a lot of times folks um, try to walk away from what they're feeling. They're like, oh, I don't, I'm sad that this has happened to me. I'm sad that I have this thing that is ravaging my body, right? There's some sadness with that, right? Because we, it wasn't what we hoped for.
right.
And so we grieve it.
Well, yeah, we
But,
grieve. I
but
think,
part
yeah,
of,
yeah,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I
Go
was going to
ahead.
say part of the grieving is allowing us to get to a better place of peace, not
Yeah,
acknowledging that there's something to be sad about doesn't allow us to heal and get to a more peaceful or a more joyful place.
yeah. I think we do grieve. We grieve when we get diagnosed.
Mhm.
We grieve when we get bad news. We grieve. Um, then we sort of have this wave of like we get good news and then we have fear about having it happen again. We grieve again. Do you know what I mean? It's like the
Right.
grief is never stopping, but just you have to figure out how to package it so it doesn't hold you back from feeling.
Hmm.
That makes sense. Like it doesn't hold you back from living.
Right. And what do you mean by package it? How do we
Like I
do
have to like put it in the box over there and
that?
say, I'm not going to deal with it today.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
don't know. I mean, I think it's like, I mean, I think we all deal with it differently, but I
We
know
do.
that I don't know how you evolve out of it except for through time. And maybe some of us don't have time. So it's like, okay, what can we do with this thing called grief and the sadness, except for like, okay, today I'm gonna have joy, today I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna not play with the sadness. I'm
Hmm.
gonna put it in the box over there on the shelf and let it be by itself.
Hmm.
I don't know, because I don't know, can I make it go away? I don't know.
No, I don't think that. I think with some things we can't make them go away, right?
Right.
And so I think that it's a matter of how do we process it, to your
Yeah.
point. And some days it may be that we've got to put it to the side. My fear is that is when we put it to the side for too long.
Yeah. What happens to it? Or does it
What
get bigger?
happens?
Does it snowball? Does it get bigger?
That's right. That's right.
Um,
And how does it impact us? And then from
yeah,
a health perspective,
right. Does it
does
cause more cancer, more stress, more anxiety?
exactly, exactly, exactly. So for me, my hope is that in that instance, in the same way that we have to schedule appointments for our physical well-being, that we're also scheduling appointments with ourselves for our own, healing and our emotional and mental well-being as well. So if we have to put it in a box to get through the day, just don't leave that box in the corner for too long,
Right. Open
because
it
it
back up.
festers. It
Yeah. Yeah.
festers.
I'm thinking about my mother. People keep saying, you're grieving or you should be grieving. Are you grieving? And the people keep asking me about this. And I guess I'm grieving. I don't know. I mean, I feel like this level of peace because I know she's peaceful, because I know how badly she was suffering and how hard it was for her. And she was miserable. She was not the person who she was because of her illness. And so I feel content and peaceful that that's all over for her. Thank you, God. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Do I miss her? Yes, terribly. But I feel like I don't know what the grief is supposed to feel like.
Yeah, I think that that's the piece that I struggle with. What is it supposed to be like? Or
Right.
or someone saying you should be
You should
grieving,
be
right?
grieving.
I
Yeah.
don't I don't subscribe to that because you define how
Right.
you grieve. No one tells me how to grieve. No one tells you how to grieve,
Right.
right?
Right.
And if you have peace, and it can be multiple things at the same time, right? You can have peace and you can have sadness that she isn't here anymore. Like
Right.
these
Right.
things can happen simultaneously,
Right.
right? They don't it's not binary. And I think the other piece is that the grief will come in waves.
I think so too. I think there are some waves of when at 8 o'clock in the morning when I normally call her.
Yeah.
But I just talk to her when that happens. I
Yeah.
think so. I think it's figuring out how to deal with those waves of stuff. But I think the other thing is that I'm normally an extrovert. I'm out all the time somewhere, whether and I haven't wanted to go anywhere. Like, come on, let's go to dinner. Like, I'm like, I know I want to stay in my house. So I think I'm dealing with it to have quiet right
Hmm.
now. You know what I mean? And not have like one of my friends said, "Can you cook for me on Sunday?" I'm like, I'll think about it. Normally I'd be like, okay, let's invite 20 more people.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, you're exercising agency,
Yeah, yeah. I'm
right?
saying,
And
okay, I'm gonna be quiet.
you're creating boundaries.
Yeah, yeah,
You are finding
yeah,
how you are determining how you move in the world,
yeah,
and I think
yeah,
that that's important for us to share with our loved ones.
yeah.
I recall when I was grieving a loss and having to say, look, I'm feeling this way today, and tomorrow I may feel something completely
Totally
different.
different,
It's
right?
okay.
Right.
It's okay. Just rock and roll with me.
Yeah. Because I don't know. And it's okay for me not to know, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's right. Yeah.
So what are some good things like people can sort of take away from how you think about the world?
Hmm. So I think that we touched on it a little bit in terms of how we deal with physical wounds and emotional wounds. I just think that it's important to start with an awareness and naming the emotion that we are feeling. If we're sad, it's important to ask ourselves, um, what's the loss to me? Like, I
Mhm.
had a hope that this would happen. I had an expectation that this would happen. It didn't. And it can be like little or it can be big.
Mhm.
I just think it's important to name it, and then, as we just talked about, to grieve it. And grieving,
Yeah.
as we talked about, looks different for everyone. It looks different for me than it does for you. And even for you, as we just talked about, it'll look different, in
Right,
any
right,
moment
right.
in
Over
time,
time. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah,
And
for sure.
then I think you also touched on fear. You talked about being in remission, right? And so
Yeah,
the cancer is gone.
yeah.
Is
The
there
cancer's
this
gone. Yeah,
fear that it will come back, right? And then
right.
the
You
stress
never
is
know.
you don't know.
Yeah,
And to acknowledge the fear and continuing to live, right? And because as we just talked about, is I think it's important to not create additional stress. And I think that we can create additional stress for the body if we don't actually name the feeling of fear
mm,
and say to ourselves, well, this is what because fear is about the future, right? This is what I want to happen, you know, but it may not happen, or this isn't what I want to happen, and it will happen.
They have, right.
That's really what fear is. It's very simple. We overcomplicate it, right?
I
It's
know,
it's,
well,
it's very simple.
we do an episode of the show always kind of at the end of the year with we have like a great pastor support group, kind of advisory group, and we bring them together, and I have a bunch of prayer warriors that might pray with me every Sunday, and so we bring them together and say, can fear and faith live in the same house?
Mm,
And it's been an ongoing debate. And I used to believe, no way, they can't.
yeah.
But now my prayer warriors have sort of convinced me to hold on, Ricky, that's not necessarily true, that they can live in the same house. And some people can't dispel one for the other. They can't dispel fear because they have faith. And I have like ultimate faith. Like if something bad's going to happen, you better run. I mean, if I'm scared, everybody should be scared because I don't, I sleep like a baby. I have no fear. I have no fear. I have ultimate faith that everything is going to be fine all the time, which is ridiculous, right? Um, um,
It's
so,
amazing. It's
so,
amazing.
but but not everybody feels that way. And I think there is this balance you have to find within yourself to figure out how to manage that,
Well,
conversation for yourself.
the way that I think about it is that if a tiger were to come into this room right now, I would be afraid. And I should be afraid.
I hear
Be-
you. Right.
and because what fear does is it signals to the body the next action to take. And so that's why for me, it's really important for me to name what it is that I'm afraid of. Because the tiger coming into the room, fear tells me I need to get some protection.
You
I
need to get the
need
hell out of there.
I need to get exactly, all right? I need some support, I need to throw some, I need to distract, I need to do something,
You need to do
right?
something.
And so when I think about fear in that way, for me, it's okay for me to have fear. Because it tells me what
It
to
helps you
do.
prepare. It helps you
It
prepare.
helps me,
Yeah.
it exactly. It signals to me that
Yeah.
there is something that I need to account for.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
so if I'm, applying for a job and I'm afraid, that's okay because it's telling me that, oh, I need to be more prepared. That's okay.
Right.
Okay, let me
Right.
go get more
Well,
prepared.
it makes you take an action.
Exactly.
Right. Fear makes you take an
Exactly.
action. It's so
Yeah.
funny you talked about the tiger. So I just went on safari,
Yeah.
and I literally was 10 feet away from lions, leopards, cheetahs,
And not scared.
not scared. And literally you drive up there and you sit there and they just sit there and hang out. They kind of look at you, but they kind of know that you're on their turf.
Yeah.
And they said, as long as you stay in the Jeep, you're good. So I wasn't about to leave the Jeep. But at one point, the leopard was up in a tree and had killed the gazelle and pulled the gazelle up into the tree, right? They were
Mm.
hanging out, like she's protecting her food. But then she came down from the tree. And my instinct was like, are we going to drive away now? The driver didn't move.
Wow.
And we watched it come down the tree, walk around the tree a few times, walk around our Jeep, and then go into a bush. And it made me like, oh, take a deep breath. But because he had no fear, I had to let my fear go because he's been doing this for whatever 20 years, right? That's what he does for a living. Um, but it made me think about, okay, what was I really afraid of?
Hmm. Right.
What was I really afraid of? But to your point, my preparation would be to make that car go,
Exactly. Or have somebody in front of you. You're like, I'm not going to be the last one.
I'm not going to be the last one here. But
That's great.
but it also made me learn. Okay, well, guess what? It's not really the time of day they eat. Um, she had a gazelle that she had just eaten the leg off of, so she was already full. So she wasn't looking for food.
Right.
She didn't care what I was. And if I wasn't like part of, like, if I didn't run, if I had run, maybe she would have chased me just because I was a play toy. But the reason why she attacks things is to get food.
Right.
And she
Right.
had just eaten. So she
Right.
didn't need she didn't need me.
So you gave yourself reassurance, right?
Yes,
But that is what we have to do with fear. We
right,
either we get protection, from the
right,
thing that is coming at us and
right, right,
that may kill us, or
right,
we get some kind of support, or we get reassurance. And
right,
that's exactly what you did. You gave yourself reassurance.
right.
This is going to be okay because I
Yeah,
just saw her eat,
I just saw her eat. She just ate
right?
the cow, right?
But it's okay to name it as being fear.
Yeah.
I stopped asking people whether they were afraid of something because it was very triggering and they had to show that they were powerful. And so I started asking it differently. I started asking them, what is it that you think is going to happen that you don't want to happen?
Mm.
Or what is it that you don't want to happen that you think is going to happen? It's the same thing.
It is, and you know what? I'm like the worst at that because I don't believe you should anticipate things. That's
Mm,
why I don't worry,
that makes sense. That makes
right?
sense then. That's why you
Like
don't have
I
fear.
don't, if I can't control it,
Hmm.
I'm not going to think about it. I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
And it frustrates me sometimes when people sort of anticipate, well, what's going to happen if this happens? I don't go there because how do you know? Like, why stress over that when you really just don't know? I'd give it to God.
Yeah. That's that's admirable. I worry about it all the things.
Do you? I
I
don't.
do. I'm like, okay, what will I do in this case? What will I do in that case?
Yeah, I really
It's just
don't. I
the
mean, I
planning.
probably should. I probably should worry a little more. I mean, or think about something, but
There's that word should again. If it
I
doesn't
know
work for you, it doesn't work for
it
you.
doesn't
Like
work
it's
for me.
it's okay.
I know.
It's
I really
okay.
don't. I try. I don't see it that way. I see,
Mhm.
okay, tomorrow will come and it will be another day and something will happen, right? Right?
And
Right?
here's the thing. It's
Yeah.
it served you. And so for so long as it serves you,
Yeah. Yeah.
continue to do it. If
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
serve you, then maybe you'll switch.
Yeah.
But for now,
Yeah.
it's working
Yeah.
out well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So we talked about two of the four types of legacy. We talked about personal and inherited, and then
Mm.
there's also chosen legacy. And so the work that you are doing here is work that you've chosen to do. And so it's you choosing to do this work to have this impact every day that you're doing it. And then the last one is collective. And so that's
Okay, so go back to chosen for a
yeah,
second. Like,
sure.
yeah, and you know what? Do you choose your purpose
That's
or
a
does it
really
choose you?
yeah, I think that's a really good question. I think
Like
it's both.
I don't think about choosing, I've chosen this legacy. I feel like
Hmm.
I wouldn't know how to do anything else. And I
Hmm.
don't know where, I mean, I don't really have a choice. It's a purpose and it's happening,
Yeah, that's
right?
interesting. I think it's a little bit of both, right? I think that for me, um, there is like just the circumstances that come together, right? And that I'm just uniquely situated to do the thing, right? And I still have to make a decision to do it. And so for me, I think it's I
Okay,
think
I
it's
hear
both.
you.
I think
Yeah,
it's
that's
both.
right.
I think it's
Because
something
yes,
that's innate
yes,
or something that
yes,
comes to me or whatever. My life circumstances put me in this position, but I still had to choose it.
yeah. Well, I guess I had to choose my commitment to it
Yeah.
and my willingness to sacrifice for it and my way to make it happen.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, when I started such, I had no money, like to figure out to start a nonprofit during COVID. People's like, are you crazy? Who's going to give you money? How are you
Right.
going to do that now when during COVID? Like, really, Ricky?
Yeah.
So I did choose that. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I don't really know, but I had to
That's
do it.
right. I mean, you chose that you were going to have this impact.
Right.
That's
I
it.
mean,
This is the work you
I
want to
don't
do.
know that I even chose that I was going to have this impact, but I chose that I had to do this path.
That's fair.
Right.
That's
Right.
fair. And the
I had no
impact
idea. I had
comes.
no idea it was going to come. Like our during COVID, our episodes, we had 40,000 views because people had nothing else to do but watch Facebook, which was
Right.
crazy. Right. And I remember one our biggest show during that first year was 82,000 views. And the people kept coming on, like we could see them coming on. We're like, what's going on here?
Wow.
We had no idea who we were talking to.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
Mo and I were like, what do you think is going on here? They're watching us.
Right.
And here we are 6 years later.
That's right.
So I know that we're supposed to be doing this.
Hmm. And I'm certain that you get affirmation from your community that this is
Yeah.
what you're supposed
Yeah.
to be doing. It's
Yeah.
probably part of what energizes you and keeps
Yeah.
you doing
Well, this
this.
is my favorite thing. One of my favorite things to do with doctors. And,
Hmm.
that's why we're here now at 8 o'clock because I couldn't, and I got a plane right now. I know it's so funny. I was talking to somebody yesterday. I've done this in bathrooms and hotels and many Delta lounges, you know,
It's your
I've,
it's your calling, it's your purpose,
yes, I have
and
to
it's
do it.
also your discipline though. Because you could
Yeah.
still do this and you could have canceled tonight, right?
Yeah.
But it's the discipline and it's the commitment that
Yeah.
you
You can't
have
cancel. Yeah.
to
I
it.
would never
That's right.
cancel.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's your commitment.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So then what's the fourth one?
Collective.
Collective.
Collective. And
So
so,
that means in partnership with somebody or
yes, those are the impacts that we create with others.
I feel like that's my purpose too,
Tell me more about that.
because um I can't do this by myself. None of us can.
Right. Right.
And when I first started Touch, I mean, we're called an alliance, the Black Breast Cancer Alliance. I
Mm-hmm.
did that because I wanted to create this sandbox where everybody came and played in the sandbox.
Mm-hmm.
So we could all like walk down that yellow brick road to Oz to kill breast cancer together. And
Mm-hmm.
my first vision was to build this big house. And so the breast cancer patient comes to the front door, she knocks on the door, and in the house has many rooms.
Yeah.
And so everything she needs, whether it's someone to do radiation, someone to do treatment, a doctor, whatever, like all the things, all the support systems are all in this house. And when she goes out the back door of the house, she's better, whether it's emotionally, physically, whatever. But it was to create this collaborative thing where everything was all in this place for her
Mm-hmm.
or him, right?
Cared for.
To be cared for, whatever it took.
Cared for.
Things that are way beyond what I can do. Like I can do my
Right.
piece of it, but
Yeah.
we all have to do this work together.
I think that's right. And I think all legacies are created in community on some level, right? So even the ones that we choose, or or the ones that we inherit, it's still not created alone because we don't do any of this alone. You
Yeah,
know, some
we
of
don't
us
do
might
any of this
think
alone.
that we are, but we don't do any of this alone. We always are
And
getting.
why would you want to?
There's that, right? Why would we want to? Right? We
Why would
all
you
have to
want
be
to do that?
builders, and in order to build, you're building with someone else, right?
Right, right, right. Or building
Right.
for someone else, or it's a joint effort.
Yes.
And people say, "Oh, well, what about your competition?" I said, my competition is cancer.
Absolutely.
I don't have competition in this work. It's our competition is cancer. We're all
Yeah.
fighting this disease. Whatever we do, it's fighting this disease. It's trying to help women deal.
Yeah. The word competition wouldn't even come to
I know,
mind
I'm
for
like,
me
right,
in this
right,
work, right?
right,
It's
right.
like everybody's a partner,
Everybody's
to
a
the extent
partner.
that they are trying to
Yeah,
to
everybody's a
save our.
partner. We have to
Yeah.
have open arms to say we're gonna all tackle this and from whatever perspective we can, whatever talent, skills, resources we have, and bring it all to the sandbox, bring it all to
Absolutely.
the house, bring it all to the playground. Let's go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what we do.
Well, okay, so say the four things again, the four.
Okay. So personal, that was the one, how we show up in the world.
All right.
And then there was chosen. That's
Okay.
the one that
Yeah.
the impact you desire to
Right.
carry forward. There was the inherited, what we get
Okay.
from our elders and ancestors, and then collective, what we build with others.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think it's sums up impact, and so I think it starts from purpose, which we talked about, and then at first identifying what is my purpose, what is it I'm trying to
Yeah.
do. Then you start to have that impact, and
Yeah.
then when you're having that impact on a continuous basis, that's legacy.
Yeah.
It's a repeat. you know. It's like the
Yeah,
memories.
yeah.
It's like the memories. More and more of them. Right.
Cool, cool, cool. What's the biggest thing you've ever had to heal from?
Oh my goodness. Definitely loss, whether it's loss of parent, grandparent, friends, loss of relationship.
Yeah.
And I've found that the loss of some relationships has felt like a death, right? Because it is the loss of that person in your life in a particular way. Um, you know, yesterday was the 5 year anniversary of my father transitioning from elder to ancestor.
Oh, I
And
love that. From elder to ancestor. I love that.
and I sat with it. First of all, I couldn't believe that, it'd been 5 years because the time flies. And then I wanted to honor his life. And so I sat with um, his values, his beliefs, what I inherited from him, and the way that how he showed up and how he modeled. And one of the things was that he was incredibly disciplined. Like you, we have to have this every Wednesday, right? And interestingly enough, he had a an online publication, and he on Tuesdays he would have 14-hour days, and because he published on Wednesday, and he was in the hospital, and I remember saying to him, you know. It's arbitrary that it has to be published on Wednesday. You're in the hospital. Like, let's take care of yourself. And he would get very agitated with me. No, I'm a professional and we must publish. People depend upon this coming out every Wednesday. And by the next week, when he was still in the hospital, I stopped. I stopped discouraging him from working on the publication because what I realized was that was his reason for living.
That was keeping him alive.
I was keeping him alive, and how dare I?
Right.
How dare
Challenge that. Yeah.
how dare
Yeah.
I? Right? And so what came up for me yesterday was he gifted me discipline. It's important to do what you say what you're going to do, and do what you say, and whatever it is that you commit to, that you remain committed to it. And he just did it at an awesome level, right? And so I appreciate him for leaving that for me and for him modeling that. And so it was, that was one of the greatest losses.
Wow. Wow.
Just one of
My
the
dad passed 20 years ago. And so he passed, my mom died on July 3rd, and my dad's 20th anniversary was July 24th. So we were all in the throes of the service and all the things. And you know what I mean? So I feel like I haven't honored my dad's 20th
mm,
year yet. I
mm.
haven't figured that one out yet because I didn't have time to figure it out yet.
Right,
I
right.
definitely want to do something with my sister
Hmm.
to honor him 20 years later because of the impact he made. But I know he's up there flirting with my mama.
I love that image.
You know,
Yeah.
they met in third grade.
Oh, wow.
They were married for 25 years. They both got divorced and then remarried to other people. But till he died, I talked to them, the two of them, every morning at 8 o'clock, driving to school, driving to work, whatever, every day. And
Mm.
then I continued to talk to my mother every day at 8 o'clock. But the three of us would talk, even with their other partners,
Yeah.
sort of in the background. So they always had an incredible bond. But get the love of my life on the phone, my father would say. But I
Mm.
still want to figure out how to like
Yeah.
honor him. But I think God did something with this whole July thing happening.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
also have like a bunch of family birthdays in July. Haley's birthday is tomorrow. Amanda's birthday is in a week. Amanda's due with my grandson tomorrow.
Oh,
No,
wow. You got a
Friday.
lot
Friday.
going on.
There's a lot going on. So I feel like God made July a thing for us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But maybe by
It's,
next year I'll figure that out.
yeah.
But I hear you on the legacy of your dad, and I need to figure out what that looks like now. Now that I'm an orphan, the matriarch, right?
You are the matriarch.
Yeah. So
And that's an awesome responsibility.
Yeah. So, and I think for our breast cancer sisters, so many of them are leaving a legacy, leaving, and I think as they leave a legacy, trying to heal their families
Right. Mm-hmm.
and prepare them, as you said,
Yeah.
are like fear. What's the fear of them leaving their families? And what are the families fearing? And how do you make that sort of healing happen
Right.
and that process happen for them?
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot to take on
Yeah.
while still going through the treatments as well.
Right. And I think that we'll think about two ways. We kind of separate people who have metastatic disease who are going to be on treatment forever,
Mm-hmm.
for the rest of their lives, or people who got better,
Mm-hmm.
but they still have that fear of recurrence, you
Right.
know, but they're
Right.
still trying to heal their families. And, some of them have little kids that
Yeah.
don't really understand the impact. Like my Latoya, her kids were like 2, 4, and 6.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're such, the oldest one, I guess, 11, 12, but they're such like conscientious young women in
Mm-hmm.
terms of what they went through with their mom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She's worked so hard on healing them. I'm so proud of them. They're so sensitive and compassionate
Yeah.
because they lived through cancer at such a young age,
Right. Right.
you know.
And that's beautiful that, you know, that they that they developed, these traits
Yes.
of kindness, right?
Of
Isn't
kindness,
that
of
isn't
kindness.
that what we want?
Right. I know. We're talking at it, right? But they do have this kindness and I don't have a good word for them, for like their sincerity and how they express their emotions and their love for people.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think they got,
Yeah.
they had to do that with their mama, you
Right.
know. Yeah.
Right. Isn't it interesting how, there's sometimes these beautiful, beautiful flowers that come
From
from
bad things,
from bad
right?
things. Yeah.
Yeah. From bad things. So
Yeah.
that's why we got to cure it so they don't get it.
Exactly.
They
Exactly.
can, they can, they don't have to deal with it.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what else are you up to? What should we look forward to? You just came back from Essence, and
I
what's next for
did.
you?
I am looking forward to going to Italy with my aunt who will be 80 years old.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, creating memories. And she does photography, and she on this trip is going to be hiking the Dolomites.
Oh,
And so
wow.
I'm really looking forward to this with her. And so I've talked her into going to flying into Milan, and we'll stay
A
there a
beautiful
couple of
place.
days. Yeah, and then we'll go to Florence and be there for a couple of days. And then we have this organized trip, photography, Dolomite hiking for I think it's 9 days.
Oh,
And
wow.
then we
That's a
go
big
to
trip.
Verona.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna be gone for like I don't know 20 days or something like that. And so I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to getting stories from her. It's
Yeah,
really
that you're getting
important.
stories and making memories. So you're going to
Exactly.
get all the old stories and then make some new ones. How cool is that?
Exactly.
How cool is that?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
That's
really great. That's
You
really
know, they
great.
have all these great books now where you can ask a bunch of questions of the elders in your family and just write all of these things down and gather the stories. And so I might pick up a book like that.
Yeah, you know what? We found this book, and I'm going to send it to you, that we
Okay.
bought for my mom for Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember the title. My sister found it, and it was basically answering questions about stuff that your mother did for you. So
Mm-hmm.
Sharon and I both filled it out.
Oh,
And I think that was one of her most treasured things before she died.
yeah.
She read it every day and was just like just answering questions. When was the first time you did XYZ? Or what was the thing you remember most about whatever? I mean, like kind of crazy things, but it made us think about our childhood and growing up and like what things made an impression on us. And it was really a beautiful thing for her to see. So you
Oh,
should definitely get one of those books. I know
yeah.
Sharon and I've been figuring out what should we do with this book now. I think we want to duplicate it. So we can both have one, you know,
Yes.
yeah, and
I
treasure
think
it.
I think that's so important. And we have all of this technology to also be able to, voice record,
Yeah, no,
messages,
take advantage of all of it.
things.
We didn't have that before. So we have
That's right.
all these great videos of my mom for the kids, for the grandkids
Yes.
now, so we're
Yes.
trying to figure out how do we categorize that, or I mean, how do we catalog it, right?
Yes.
So it becomes
Yes.
something that they can live and enjoy and have access to.
Yeah. After my father passed, I went online and there are all of these videos of him doing interviews. And I remember thinking, my goodness, he was really busy. He was
Yeah,
busier than
yeah.
I thought he was. And what I love about it is that I can always go back and see his face. I can always go back and hear his voice. I can always go back and hear him articulate a point of view, a political piece, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So, technology really allows us to keep those
It
memories
keeps those
alive.
memories going, yeah.
Keep
And
those
look at
memories
and
alive.
that's how you create legacy. How cool is that?
Exactly, exactly.
Right? You can actually record it.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And one of the things that I just got back from a family reunion cruise to the Bahamas, and our
You're
family
just on the road,
reunion.
girl. I love
I
it.
know, I'm gonna sit down. I canceled a trip to Texas this weekend. I said I gotta stay home and get some work done. But on the family reunion cruise, that's where we keep a lot of our stories alive.
Yep.
It's just such a
I hope you talked about health. Actually, our show a couple weeks ago was like, at your family reunion, write it all down. Who had what? Who died of what? What's everybody's
yes.
A1C and PSA and all
Oh,
the things, and create this, generational health conversation that will lead to generational wealth. It's so important.
I think that that's so important. I think there's the generational wealth, there's the generational health, there's the cultural wealth as well. I think it's so important for us to do all of these things. And
Yeah.
I love that we as a community have family reunions because not everybody has them. And so we are just so blessed to
So
have that
blessed.
as a tradition. And my hope is that we will be more intentional and more structured in those
Yeah.
reunions, right?
I feel like that's
Passing
my
on
new
those
job as
stories.
the matriarch, is to figure out how to continue all the traditions that my mother started, and
Yes.
like make them work for everybody now.
Yes.
And bring kind of like, keep the momentum or keep the family intact. So that's my
Exactly.
job, right? It's my new job.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yes. And I know you will do a wonderful job. What are you most excited about in this matriarchal role?
I don't know yet. I'm such a control freak over most of the things that I do. So I haven't really put my arms around it yet. I haven't had
Yeah,
enough time to think about
of course.
what it really means, because now everything's sort of coming at me. I
Hmm.
need to, like, figure out what my strategy is, and what my definition of strategy is knowing what the outcome is to get you where you need to go, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Start where you want to go and then back out how you get there, back
Yeah.
into how you get there. So I don't know where I want to go yet with it. Do you know what I mean? I want to create something that is different from what my mother did. I think that our generation is different.
Hmm.
I think my parents' generation, there was this almost expectation and accountability that you would care for your parents
Hmm.
at
Hmm.
your expense,
Hmm.
right? I don't want to do that to my children.
Hmm. Hmm.
I want them to, I don't want them to have this guilt about having to take care of everybody.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
think, when I see them interact with their children, they don't have the mother guilt that I had, which I was great. They're both helicopter moms, but in a different way than I am. And so I think I'm going to try to figure out how to do that differently, than so they can, feel more free to be
Yeah.
who they are and not feel this burden of what the family should be. Right.
Yeah. Well, you also give space, though, that they
Yeah.
may not view it as burden.
I know, I know. And how do you do that? How do you get that balance where it isn't? And now it's really just living and loving and having
Right.
other parts of it, right? So
Well, they find it to be an
yeah,
honor to take care of their mother,
yeah,
right? You
yeah.
know?
Yeah, I
So,
know. And I think, well, I think it is an honor. It is an honor, I think, but there was, I think our parents' generation was more of this expectation
mm,
as opposed to letting it be a choice. Does that make sense?
it does. It
Yeah.
does.
So,
Yeah. I
which
think,
I do honor it. I treasure every minute of it,
yeah.
so yeah, it's
And
just,
and I think also it's a balance, right? Or there's so much out there about loneliness and isolation,
yeah,
especially among elders. And so how do we address that as
yeah,
well? Like not
yeah,
wanting to be a burden while also making sure that we continue to exist in community. You
yeah,
know,
have
your
community. Yeah.
mother lived a beautiful
Oh,
93
she was a
years.
community. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, because
93
she was in community,
Yeah,
right?
she was in
It's
community. Yeah,
not
and so many,
people in
no,
isolation, they don't live that long.
right, no, and no, she had, I can't even count the deltas and the links and her school system friends that were at this service. So she
Right.
did lived a community. She created a community. She created a community.
She was very intentional.
She curated a community,
I love
so,
that. I
so,
love that. I
so,
belong to an intentional community.
yeah,
That's part of what we're thinking about right now, which is
that's great.
who do we want to be around? How do we
Right.
want to be? Where do we want to
Where
be?
do we want to be? Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And there are a lot of us who are onlys, right? I'm an only child. So
Okay.
what does that look like,
What does that
right?
look
I'm
like?
very
Yeah.
close to my cousins. I call them my sister cousin and my brother
Yeah. Yeah.
cousin.
Yeah.
And it's still like, what does the aging process look like for
Yeah. Yeah.
someone like
Yeah.
me,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And
So,
even just redefining my role with my sister now,
mhm.
like, what does
Yeah,
that look like? How's that going to change? And, how we had to sort of come together for this whole, really the last 5 years of her life to make it a better place for her, so
yeah,
how do we sustain that love?
yeah. And
So
it's
thank
wonderful.
you. Thank you for this
Thank you.
lovely conversation.
I enjoy talking to you always. I
I
look
know.
forward to seeing you in person very, very soon.
I know. I hope so. I know we're headed to the vineyard next week. So to get ready for our big activation. And if
Oh,
anyone,
that's great.
we'll put this in the comments, click on our link to come to our 10 days of programming.
Oh, that's
We're going to
wonderful.
talk about mental health, cancer, cardiology. We have a women's day, a men's day, a caregiving day. We're having a gospel brunch. We're having a tennis tournament.
Oh my
We-
goodness.
We're having a bunch of porch talks at our house every night. And so there's going to be a lot of family food, fun, all the things, and lots of knowledge and lots of learning. We have some great doctors, some great health professionals talking, some great caregivers and stories and patients talking about their experiences. And it's going to be great.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I hope that you will be sharing that information on
Oh yeah,
social
it'll
media
well,
for
we'll
those
be
of
up.
us who
Yeah.
who didn't get a
Yeah.
house.
I know. I hear you. I know. Next year, gotta work on next year. No, we're gonna broadcast everything. So
Oh, that's wonderful. So I look forward to seeing that.
yeah.
Travel safely, and
All
thank you
right. You
so much
too.
for the
Travel
time.
safely. Thank
I
you.
always enjoy our conversations.
Thank you so much. I hope today was real reliable and as Mo would say, and we'll see you next week on the
All right.
Doctor's In. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye. Bless you, love.